Is up, guys? This is Andrew Smersek with Combatter Training. Today, we're going to talk about stop being NPCs. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to join. And while that's happening, Max Lozano is going to be a total bro for me and start sharing it to the different places. Should be in the description. I kind of put a little document that I typed out on the things I was thinking about, why I am making this video. Also, at the end, I'm going to show you some new gear that I'm about to put out. Also, a couple prototypes that I'm working on that should be coming out shortly, but no promises, especially because the original took me so long to even get done to the point that I'm at. All right, now let me put my phone on silent. There we go. And I'm going to pull up this document that I got for the NPC live stream. So, disclaimer, we can all be NPCs. I've been one. You've probably been one. Like, anyone is capable of acting like an NPC. So, just because I'm making this video doesn't mean that I think I'm better than you or anything like that. It's just a thing we all do. But this video is to address it and try to make it so that we don't do that anymore. Now, just because I don't like something that someone says, that doesn't mean that I think that person is stupid. I disagree with a thing. Okay. Usually when I post a video about a subject, I don't start calling out names of instructors who say a thing or teach a thing. I try to leave that out because, again, even if I disagree with someone on one thing, it doesn't mean I think they're dumb about everything. It means I think that thing is dumb. And maybe the way I don't like the way they said it or whatever, but it doesn't mean I think anything bad about them. It just means I simply disagree with that thing. Now, why do I care? There's a serious lack of critical thinking experience that is holding back the art and potentially going to get people killed. The purpose of all this is to save lives. So that's the thing of why I call it being an NPC. Is it's like you're not even thinking about it. You're just repeating a phrase that you've heard before, or a lot of times too, people will cite a certain instructor or a certain group or a particular person and say, well, they do this thing, so you're dumb because you don't do the thing that they do. I'll get into some examples later. But the lack of critical thinking, and the funny thing is too, I've seen it happen many times where it was someone acting like an NPC that was saying that everyone else was not doing any critical thinking. When it's like, dude, if you even thought about the thing you're talking about right now, you would know that's nonsense. Now, feel free to comment with questions or interject examples that you have seen. As I go through this, I'm going to go through the comments later after I've kind of ranted and got it out of my system. Now, why do I care? Why I care about that especially is to save lives. The whole purpose of training is to save lives. And if we don't critically think about it, that's going to get people killed. Now, how will that happen? We spend more time talking shit about each other than we do actually fighting for our own rights or making ourselves better. Like, how many times have you seen that where it's like you don't see them doing very much to actually like fight for us, but you do see them tearing our own people apart? Now, I'm not saying that like criticism is wrong, but I do think that we go about it in the wrong way as a collective. That is, I've tried to very hard to make it on my channel where I don't fucking call it a particular person. Well, you will see me be harsh on veterans, and it's more in the sense of that's what like stuff that the military teaches. That's more what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to attack veterans as a whole. I'm a veteran. I've made friends who are veterans. But also, I don't think being a veteran makes you special in any way. There are too many cliches said that do not address the root cause of the problem. one example. I just posted a video about it on Tuesday. Always look at the holster. Wrong. Okay. And the cliche that's always said is that if it's safe to put your gun away, it's safe to look at your holster. Like, okay, that's fine. It may totally be. But does that work at night? Does that work in like total darkness? Like, for instance, when the power goes out, every time we get a storm here where I live in Florida, or when there's a hurricane, well, you should have a flashlight. Should, yes. Okay. But should you be shining that light, telling everyone where you are? Maybe not. Maybe it's fine. Will you for sure have that flashlight? Hopefully, but it's not a guaranteed thing. Like if I ran in my backyards in the woods, and I didn't have time to put my stuff on, or I had set something like my light down and it was charging or whatever, I didn't have it. Like, it shouldn't be my first time putting my pistol in the holster. And there's many other cliches that are said. If you have examples, again, please share them. But that's just one example. It's like, I did see one comment earlier from a video I had posted in a Facebook group, and it said, never say always. And I was like, that's pretty good. And another one that Travis Haley had said was, never say never, except to never be absolute. I like the way that guy thinks. Now, next, it will get people killed if we do not learn from previous mistakes, and the same mistakes are repeated. So things like another issue I've attacked in many, many videos, and I'm going to do more because you know what? We need to crush this. And I wish my friends would make videos about these subjects, so it wasn't just me talking about it. But retaining empty magazines, it was a thing that I was taught to do in the Marine Corps. And, I've had many people come to classes and they're trying to do that. And like, it especially does not make sense with your pistol when you're talking about like concealed carry. Is there a time and place where you might need to retain an empty mag? Sure. But that's a shit plan to have. Okay. You have time and resources to make it where you can just buy more mags right now. So you should not be doing that. But that's a previous mistake that I was taught that has literally gotten people killed. There's a guy that my friends at Green Line Tactical have been trying to put me in contact with, and I've messaged him on Instagram, but I haven't gotten anything back. But he was a Marine that is paralyzed now, confined to a wheelchair, because he was retaining an empty magazine. Or at least, if he hadn't been, he may not have gotten shot. Who knows? Because we weren't there. But he got shot and paralyzed while he was retaining an empty magazine. But yet, NPCs will say like, oh, you need to retain it. And that's nonsense. Again, it's just about critical thinking. Now, why does it happen? Single dimensional training is a big reason for why this stuff happens, why people act like NPCs. And, that's like kind of like the same thing as saying that you are a victim of your own experiences. As in, if these are the things that you have done, like the way you've been taught and the way you've been trained, and all your experiences are confined to one single area, you're going to think like that. Okay. Just like it's really hard to get people to come to training classes until they understand they need training. Okay. Like if if there was like a service where you could pay someone to abduct your wife with a ski mask or do something crazy, but she was not going to get hurt, but she then realized that she needed to carry a gun, people would pay for that. They would be like, yes, I need to get my wife carrying a gun. I'll pay for that. Now, again, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying, like, until they've seen that thing, experienced that, it's not even a part of their reality. Like, that doesn't exist. It's not real. I don't need training. Now, the same things with people who do have some sort of training happens within that realm too. And October, I'm planning on going up to tactical response for a backup gun and fighting revolver. Might do Chuck's class while I'm there. Might hang out with Sonny. Might do his stuff. But one thing I need to get done while I'm up there is do a whole podcast on single dimensional shooters and single dimensional training while I am there, because we had a discussion while I was up in Pennsylvania recently, and it was really good. And that was the whole thing, is like, there's a lot of single dimensional shooters where it's like, kind of like what he was saying is, if you've only ever shot at cans out in your backyard, you might get pretty good at shooting those cans to your standards. And now you think that you're good because of that. This is a thing I've experienced a lot with like hunters too. My new stepdad is a hunter, and it's not a thing I can explain to him why he should take a class. It doesn't even have to be mine. I don't care. But if you like took a good class and it opened your mind to seeing that, oh, there's more to this than what I am doing and what I have experienced, then you would start to realize like, oh man, there's a lot of things I could get better at. Like I could get better at medical. Like, if I've said to a lot of people, if I could send you to one single class, it would be the fight at tactical response. And that's not even so much of a learning class where you're learning new skills. That is a test. You go into situations and scenarios. You learn about yourself and how you would react. And I think that is a very mind-opening class. It completely busted my ego. Like when I saw things that I fucked up, and I'm like, man, I would not have gone home in this situation. Now, don't be scared of that. That's good. Don't be afraid of failure in anything. The failure is one of the greatest teachers, one of the greatest lessons you can possibly have. And I think I'm quoting Sonny on that. But like if you find out that, oh, I thought I was the shit, but I'm really not, that's a good lesson to have. And it will also point out to you what you need to work on. One of the things I say about good classes is, it's like, if you are taking a good class, you should go in thinking you knew all this stuff, right? And then at the end of that class, you'll realize, oh man, I thought I knew all this, but I really only knew all this. And there's all this that I need to learn now. You'll discover that the dimension that you were thinking in is very small, and your understanding of that is not that great either. And you will learn too that there's much more out there that you were not even aware of that you need to learn. So again, go back to like that guy who is just shooting cans in his yard, right? In his world, he's good. He's good. He doesn't even carry his gun, probably. It's in his car. He's good with that. All right. Now, go to like my stepfather, for example. I'm not ragging on him. I get it. I get why he doesn't take classes, right? He's a good hunter, a really good hunter. However, he hasn't been through like the same experiences I have. So he does not, like the things I've seen, he can't even grasp. Just like, if I were to talk to a dude who had fought in the Korean War, or, stormed the beaches of somewhere, Normandy or Iwo Jima or something like that, I would not even be able to grasp the things that they went through. I can listen, I can picture it, I can visualize it, but I'm not there. I don't get it. So there may be lessons that he thinks are super important that I don't even appreciate. And I've even had that happen where, and many people have had this happen, where you learn the same thing in many classes and it doesn't even stick. One example I can give is, again, another cliche is that scan you do, just standing there and turning in a circle, isn't, a good scan, and it's not real, and it's a range theatric or whatever. Well, my dumbass got shot in force on force recently because I didn't do any scan. Because in that scenario, I was like, active shooter, there's just one, because statistically that's usually what happens. And I got shot by the other guy that I did not even see. And he was right there. Like, all I had to do was pick my head up and look for him. So would I have been better off doing even just staying there in a circle? Which the only reason why they stand there and do it in a circle is because there's like a bunch of people on the line. And it'd be kind of crazy to get everyone running different places and scanning on the way, because we're about to yell fight again and they're all about to start shooting again. So it'd be very hectic, number one. Number two, you're going to be there all day to do like 4 drills because that's going to take forever. It's a principle, right? Like they even say this is best done while moving. Now, I kind of lost my train of thought. But, all right, dimensional shooters, right? So like a guy who's always hunted, right? They're going to think they're good, especially if they've killed a lot of animals, if they're good at hunting. I even had a phone call recently with a potential customer who was asking like, oh, we just want our permits. We just want a permit class and, go over the prices of classes, which my classes are not expensive. Like the ones I take are way more expensive. I do plan on raising my prices. But he just wants a permit class, right? So he's thinking like a $50 thing an hour, get in, get out, I'll listen to your bullshit so I can get my piece of paper type thing. I don't do that. I don't do a permit class at all. I will give the piece of paper they need to any student who attends my class, but I don't do a concealed carry permit class. So he was like, but one of the things he said was, well, we already know how to shoot. We're hunters. Like, all right, what does that even mean? Like how to shoot? Like, how to shoot a hunting rifle? You know how to shoot a bow? Because that could be many different things. Shotgun, you didn't even say what you hunted, for instance. And that's just a way to think about what is their reality on that. His reality is shooting an animal, right? Now, guys who do competitive shooting or like what I call the performance shooter guys, because there's like competitive shooters, competition shooters, right? And then there's military and law enforcement guys that also talk about technique and being able to shoot really fast. Those I call the performance shooter guys, and then the competition shooter guys. So if you've attended classes with those guys, you will see like what good looks like. If you haven't been there, you don't really know what good looks like. You may have seen it on a video, but you haven't fully experienced it. You haven't seen that super awesome dude shoot a drill, fucking completely smoke it. Even if they fuck something up, it still was really, really good. And then you go and shoot and see, man, that's hard as hell to do. I need to do work to get in on it. So I already know how to shoot. What does that even mean? All right. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. But man, I'm gonna stick on this for a second longer. I lied. Single dimensional shooters. When you go from like I own guns to I shoot guns frequently at the range to now I carry my gun, you're kind of moving along dimensions of what kind of shooter you are. And now the podcast I do with Calvin Lim about what dimensional shooter are you, that may completely contradict this because I've only dipped my toes into this whole subject, but from my understanding, that's what I'm giving you. But so own guns, shoot guns, carries gun, usually that's where people stick. And also the NPCs that we deal with, as in the guys who are not critical thinkers, that's kind of where they're at. They haven't escaped that certain realm. Now, it is becoming more popular for guys to take classes because they've seen lots of instructors on the internet. And we're kind of in like this, I would say, second wave of internet trainers, in the sense that there's been trainers. I'm not sure what wave we're on of that, but it, kind of all started back with Gunsight, and then like the Thunder Ranch era, and then the stuff in like the 90s or the early 2000s. And now, so we've gone through different kind of waves of schools and trainers, but I would say we're pretty much on like the second wave of, maybe the third wave of trainers that have YouTube channels that are talking about stuff. And now it's become much more popular because YouTube is the second most popular search engine. And in fact, oftentimes even for me, it's the most popular one for me. If I'm looking up how to do something, I don't go to Google, I go to YouTube so I can watch someone do it. And shooting you're probably not going to Google that. You're probably going to watch it on YouTube. So it's become very popular. And now people are starting to see like, oh, I should go take that class from that guy because that guy does cool stuff, or I like that guy. And that's awesome. It's really awesome. However, there's still a problem of like dudes that are only sticking within a certain circle of trainers, right? And even for me, I haven't gone that far out. Like the one thing that I really, really, really need to start doing is some sort of hand-to-hand martial art like BJJ. And I've already found one that I think I'm going to go to. But and that will change on everything once I do. But now, so you got a dude who went from owning guns to carrying a gun. Now he's taken a class, but now you really start thinking you're the shit. Just like when I was in the military, I was Marine Corps infantry, went to Afghanistan, Yemen, and stuff like that. So like I thought I was hot shit back then. I thought I knew everything. And it's funny for me, the thing that actually changed me was the Magpul DVDs initially changed me. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even want to watch them. I was told about them. I had them on like a hard drive I was given. And I was like, nah, I'm already the best of the best. I don't need to watch that. And then when I finally did watch it out of boredom, I was like, fuck, dude, these guys shoot really fast. I have never shot that fast before. I'm like, damn, they like reload really good. And they talk about malfunctions. And I'm like, holy shit, like we've never even been taught malfunctions properly. So then I started being like, there's more to this. And then for me, it was watching Jaeger talk about the survival principles, mindset, tactics, skills, gear. Is where I was at. I was watching all the gear shit possible. I was like, what's the best trigger? What's the best rail? The best barrel? Blah, 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 blah. Which sight do I need? And all that stuff, which, gear's cool. I sell gear. In fact, like I said, I got some stuff sitting right here that pretty much none of you have seen yet that is going to be going live on the website tomorrow. But I was all about that. I would spend hours watching bullshit like that. Shit that today I don't care about like hardly at all. Gear is still important. It's very important. It's not most important. What James said that put me onto my current path, the current stream of consciousness was, you guys are looking all wrong. You're following the idiot's principles. Gear, skills, tactics, maybe mindset. I was like, damn, you're fucking right. Now, like I said, I've been an NPC before. I think everyone has about something. We've all been a dumbass about something. It's also why I think there's no such thing as common sense. Common sense. Now, fun homework for you guys. I was talking with Jacob Beach the other day, and he kind of filled me in on what he has learned as far as where that phrase came from. But where it's at today, I believe, is common sense is not a real thing. It never has been. What common sense is beliefs or knowledge that you possess that you think everyone else should have too. So your common sense is really just some feelings you're putting out onto the rest of the world. Just like, how, I say you should be competent with loaded guns. You shouldn't have to unload a gun to be safe with it. Then another gun guy will say, no, you should unload it for whatever reason. Now, in his world, he is right. Okay. And there is still such thing as truth, because I don't believe in that, well, whose truth is that? There is an objective reality. There is truth. But then another person's common sense would be that, well, if there's no gun, then there's no danger. We need to get rid of guns because they're dangerous. That's retarded, though. So we're not going to do that. But considering that, we've all done dumb shit. I was a smoker. All right. I gained too much weight when I shouldn't have. Working on that right now on carnivore. Okay. So chill out. But, we've all probably dated the wrong person. We've all probably done the wrong thing. We've all been a dumbass at one point in time or another. So I don't even believe that common sense is a real thing. Now I've again trailed off onto another subject. I'm just going to read this paper and get back to where I was at. Oh, well, okay. So that whole thing put me on my current stream, right? And it's because I can be analytical. I can also let something go right over my head, but I can be analytical. So when the things I watched that James was saying, I really analyzed it because I disagreed with it. At no point in time did I ever jump in the comments and say something. I didn't get emotional over it. And that's the thing that I see a lot today. Now, there's a couple good videos that I'll probably post up in the comments about why people act like NPCs. Because when I first got the idea for this video, and I've made a short about it, but I didn't post it. But I started researching it and seeing what other people had to say. And the funny thing is, it literally just gave me confirmation bias, because I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But then I added a few more things. One of the things that I added was that people are very reactionary, because today we are getting information from so many different spots. Like, we're getting Facebook posts, Instagram posts, phone calls, text messages, YouTube. Like, we get slammed with information, and everyone is competing for our attention, including me. I'm competing for your attention right now. Like, if you're looking at your phone, then I feel like I'm not doing a good job if the video is over here, like if you're doing something else. So with that, with everyone competing for the attention, the opinions get to be very exaggerated, very extreme, in the sense that it's like, if you do this and you're fucking completely retarded, or you've been doing it wrong your whole life, you need to do it this way, right? And even I'll say I've definitely done that on videos before. Okay. I definitely have. And the thing is, I do believe the thing I say in the video. There's probably been, there's a couple things I've gone back on like technique or whatever, that I don't teach it that way. But beside the point, that's kind of where we're at. So with that extreme of the thing being pushed towards you, that's then what those people will go out and push out into the world. So it's like, not only are they not thinking about it, but now they're getting emotional over it and trying to create a big deal out of it, when it could be something very simple. And one thing with that too is, I've seen a lot of like, they'll drag someone under the bus over a certain thing. And I'm going to get to that here in just a minute. But it's like, just think about it, dude. Just because someone got something wrong doesn't mean that they have nothing to give. And they could have been totally wrong, like completely ass backwards retarded about it. It doesn't mean that they're completely retarded. They're just retarded on that one thing. And hey, again, we've all done that. We've all been wrong about something. And if you're not changing an opinion at least once a year on something that you totally believe, then you're probably doing it wrong. Anyways, moving on. Why does it happen again? People don't know enough to form independent thoughts or to critically analyze information. Okay. So that kind of is a single dimensional thing again, where, man, it's like, if you have very limited experience, that's what you believe to be true. If you haven't seeked out information, that's what you think is right. Maybe you could think of it as in the sense that, like, you were always told that this brand of vehicle is good, so you bought that brand vehicle, and then it shit out on you real quick. Maybe, you were told to buy this certain gun, and then you found out it was a piece of shit. Like, lots of hype, like the, SIG guns. People were super excited about it. Then a few of them were bad, which, like, as far as I understand, if you look at statistically how many of them had problems, it wasn't like the end of the world. There were problems. But now there's a lot of people just, again, reactionary, emotionally throwing hate at SIG. But they bought into it. They didn't seriously analyze it. Like, on that subject, when a new gun comes out, I try to just wait and see before I can recommend. And that was actually the direct case with the like SIG 365 that had the light primer strikes. I'll be honest, I was one of the guys who bought a 320 right away. I thought that was the shit. And before even the whole drop safe thing came out, I had gotten, no, I wanted to go to Glock. I hadn't switched over yet. Okay, so after that happened, I had switched over, but it wasn't because of that. The reason why I switched to Glock was because I was like looking around, I'm like, damn, it's harder to find a holster. It's harder to find magazines. Everything's more expensive. I was like, I just want to go with the thing that I can get stuff for easier, and I did. But I bought into the SIG thinking that I was smarter than a dude who owned a Glock or any other pistol, right? That's why I got a SIG 320 initially. Being an NPC. Now, another thing, people get emotional when their beliefs are challenged. This is especially true in the gun community because guns are like an extension of our manhood. Like if you tell someone they're not good at shooting, it's kind of the same thing as saying that you aren't good at protecting yourself. You're not good at fighting. You couldn't protect your family. You couldn't hunt for your family. You couldn't provide for them. It's basically attacking their manhood. It's not directly doing that. You're just like, hey, your fucking grip is crazy and you keep throwing rounds into the dirt, like it's a very objective thing, but subconsciously that's what that person is feeling. So one little thing like that, like if someone makes a video explaining why a reload that someone does is dumb or whatever, then someone will hear that and they'll be like, no, I am that protector. I am that guy. You know, how dare you challenge my masculinity? It gets them emotional and they attack, which if you think about it, being emotional is kind of a feminine trait. So maybe we shouldn't fucking do that. Like, it's kind of funny that the gun industry, gun people, you would think that they're like the most masculine types of people, which I think, being kind of stoic is a masculine quality. Although I'm not going to say you have to be 100% stoic. I'm fucking certainly not. I'm very vocal and on shit. But for how we think that we're like the tough guys and stuff like that, man, people sure do create a lot of drama. They sure do get emotional over shit, and they sure do act without thinking. Like, I've responded to many comments being like, okay, girl brain, because they'll take something I said completely out of context and then add some nonsense to it that, where did that come from? And then they'll throw it at you. And it's weird, honestly, but yeah, that's people getting emotional when their beliefs are challenged. Now, examples. And I'm not sure if this is all in the description or not. I had tried to make it be that way, but live stream was acting weird for me, so I'm not sure if it got in there or not. But examples. I have personally witnessed the algorithm pushing videos to different groups of people, and then that group all commenting the same wrong comments. They are real people who groupthink like NPCs, as if they are not even capable of comprehension or critical thinking. Let me break that down. So I make a video. In that video, I say stuff. They hear something different, something I did not say. And I've said many times, please timestamp what I said or write in quotations exactly what I said. And I think they see that they're wrong, and then they don't do that, but they never like have timestamped that thing I said. They'll usually be like, well, you didn't say that, but you were implying this. Like, no, I wasn't. My words are fucking literal. So examples of this. My first video that I did real well was the Don't Buy 300 Blackout video. I never said anything bad about the round other than the price and availability. So I was like, now the point of the video that I personally believe I did not get across well enough was that instead of buying 300 Blackout, being gear focused, you should buy a more common gun with a more common round that you can get easier and cheaper, and then take that other money and put it towards training classes. Because like basically a dude who buys an AK or an AR in 7.62 by 3.9 or 5.56, especially at that time, 7.62 by 3.9 was the way to go. Now I'm saying just stick to 5.56. If you want AK, cool, but you need to have a 5.56 because it's easier to get shit for. It's cheaper. But anyways, buy that common gun with that easy to get round that's less expensive. Go take training classes, and then you'll also be able to shoot more for less money. That's the point of it. I was trying to push people towards training. I didn't do a good job of that. I more was pointing out prices of ammo in that video. Now, 300 Blackout is a great round, all that. Yeah, I get it. It can be quiet and all that. But do you need it? No. Okay. But the thing that was funny was when that video was doing well, it would go out to a group. That's kind of the way the algorithm works. Is like people who watch a certain video will get recommended your video. And if it does well with that group, then it's going to show like that whole group. And then they'll start showing it to like other people. Like it'll show it to a small group. If they all watch it, they'll show it to everyone within that group. Right. So I got waves of the same comments. Like I got waves of, well, I'm a reloader, so blah, 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 and then I got waves of, I'm a hunter. It does well on pigs. Never have talked about how to be a good hunter on my channel at all, or in that video especially. My channel is not meant for hunting. There's other channels where people actually do hunt that you should watch about hunting, not mine, but okay. And then it was all the same, like an entire group of people all commenting the same thing about they want to protect their family's hearing in their house, which I get it. Okay. All right. But a dude who takes a bunch of training classes is still going to do better than the dude who has a quiet gun. Okay. So it was like I would get waves of the exact same comment. Recently, I did a video on I did 2 videos. It was really funny that I was getting these comments. One was how people jam their AR-15s. So talking about user error, stuff like not inserting the magazine properly. So you want to give it a tug after you put it in, riding the charging handle, overloading magazines, and other stuff, right? But the overloading magazines one, what I said in there was, if you overload a magazine, as in like putting more than 30 rounds in, then it's not going to work. So a good way to avoid that is just to go down to 28. I didn't say 30 rounds doesn't work. I said more than 30 rounds. But the comments I got, and at one point I was literally getting it every 5 minutes. I even sent it to Mike Fiore over at Bulletin, where you should be subscribed and going to his website, bulletin.net, I believe. And the fucking goddamn it, Berm Limits podcast. I've been on there a few times. You should be watching that. But anyways, I sent it to him, and it was like every 5 minutes I was getting the same comment of 30 rounds works in a 30 round magazine. 28 rounds is a myth. If you can't insert a 30 round magazine, then you need to go to the gym. And like all this shit never said 30 rounds doesn't work in a 30 round magazine. And it's like, do I need to say that? No. Listen to the actual words I said. Like, if you are misinterpreting information because you're not listening, that's not my fault. That's your fault. Like, I shouldn't have to say like, hey man, drink water. Also, fucking don't drink gasoline. I shouldn't have to say, hey man, drink water. And also, I'm not saying it has to be from a water bottle. Like, I don't have to say the other part of that, because if we had to do that all the time, it would be fucking ridiculous. Now, some people do that. That's okay. Whatever. But if you're freaking out over something that literally was not said, that's a you problem. All right. And just like, check out the comments in many places. Sometimes people just read a comment and then they comment the same thing too. I've noticed that. Now, next example, but that happens a lot, where the algorithm pushes videos student groups, and they all comment the same thing. Oh, fuck. Another example of that. So with the AR-15's user error video I did, lots of people commented, this doesn't happen if you have a quality AR-15. It's user error. like, like, yes, it does. It's caused by you, not by the gun. And then lots of people commented, this doesn't happen if you do it with or if you buy an AK, which I literally had already uploaded a video of the same one. And in fact, most of the things I said in that video were the same things I said in the AR-15 video about user error with the AK. Maybe a little bit nuanced difference because it's a different gun. But then people in that video were saying this doesn't happen when you buy an AR. Fucking retarded. NPC, no analysts, no analyzing happening at all. They just are typing to say a thing. So don't do that. Like, actually analyze what's being said. Now, next one. I've watched people pile on in an effort to attack people online when they watch a video, either because they can't comprehend what is done or said in the video, or because they disagree, and now they say that that person is absolutely wrong and worthless because of what is in the video. Example of that recently would be tactical response with the bag video, where they shoot the punching bag and then they beat it with a gun and then they get off and they top off and maybe they start shooting again. Now that drill, like, I get it if it didn't look cool, like you're like, oh, that looks dumb or whatever. Okay, I get it. You have to understand too that was likely those students' first time ever hitting anything with a gun. Like, how many times have you taken your gun and hit a punching bag? Okay, so if it didn't look cool, okay, that's fine. I get that. But also, I want you to ask yourself, what did it look like the first time you shot a pistol? Can we see a video of that? Would you want that to be a thing posted on the internet that everyone could see? Because everyone would talk shit on that too. Also, if you think it didn't look cool, post a video of how you would beat up someone with your gun, how you would hit them with it, and go full speed on 100%. I'd like to see that. But the other thing is, people were saying that tactical response is teaching people to shoot someone and then start hitting them a bunch with a gun. They're saying you killed them by mag dumping in his face and then you started beating him. That's retarded. That's like taking a drill 100% literally, especially when it's against inanimate objects. That's like saying that when a class says to bring 1,000 rounds, that instructor is teaching them to shoot one guy 1,000 times. Or when you do like the bill drill. Okay, so all right, so you're teaching people that after you are going to kill them by shooting them in the heart, you need to shoot them 5 more times. You need to excessively shoot people. No. It's a skill. That drill, the bag drill, when I did it, I remember actually using our hands to strike that bag for like a minute before you even get that gun out. When you do get the gun out, you shoot it, and then you keep beating it with the gun. At the end of that, pretty much no matter who you are, unless you fucking do bag work regularly, because they want you to go 100%. They want you to fucking like wear yourself out. At the end of that, you're probably pretty gassed. Everyone who I've asked about it, they said, yeah, at the end of it, I was totally fucking wiped out. And I was like, damn, I need to get in better shape. That was the biggest lesson I got, was like, hey man, if it goes to the ground, it's going to suck. Like, you're going to be fucking wiped out. Hopefully you can use your gun instead. But the other thing that happened with that drill when I did it was there was a big discussion about hand-to-hand stuff, where you should be training to learn to do that stuff. Like, that's a toes in the water type drill, as in you are getting exposure to something that you need to start learning. Like I said earlier, when you take a good class, you should come in thinking you know all this stuff and realize you only knew this little bit of stuff and there's all this much more to learn. Now, people were freaking out about that. That's stupid. Uh, saying that saying that they're teaching people to kill someone and then beat their head in. Who would do that? Do you really think that? Do you really believe that's what they were teaching? Because honestly, if you really believe that, I think there's a problem. I think most of the people were getting emotional and not being honest with what they saw in the video. The other thing is that, like, if you don't understand it, totally fine. It's just a video, right? You don't get the full picture. But if you don't understand it, then why are you saying what's happening in there? If you haven't done that drill ever, if you've never trained at that place, how can you like completely say that that's the wrong place to be? Does that actually make sense? Are you being honest, or are you being emotional and attacking someone? Also, probably from a faceless account where you don't show yourself doing anything. What training have you actually had? These are all questions I like to ask. But whatever, the internet is what it is. Now, the funny thing was also people saying like, well, if you don't like the slack you're getting, then don't post it on the internet. Well, truth is that actually still helps, even if you guys are if people are negative. Like some of my best performing videos, they did really, really well because of all the negative comments. Like a million comments of people talking shit. I'm gonna try to show you an example. But then the like ratio was still awesome. So you would think the perception maybe that everyone hates this person and everyone thinks that that person's wrong and all that. However, when you actually look at the like ratio, like if all those people commenting were liking or disliking, which they probably did, right? Then that fucking dislike ratio should be pretty big. So, all right, example, don't retain empty mags. 1.9 million views. Let me get it so I can see my own camera. 1.9 million views. And when I go to, I gotta try to find engagement audience. Damn. Sorry, I'm not better prepared for this part. Engagement. Yeah, likes versus dislikes. So lots of people talking shit on this one, but then 95% likes. Kind of funny. Like I got a ton of comments of people talking shit, but I did not get hardly any dislikes. So it's kind of like that group of people who get angry, they're also the most vocal. They're going to talk the most shit, but they're also the biggest NPCs, most likely. Now, other example was everyone, where they see one video and then they try to completely discredit, was Ken Hackathorn with the he doesn't recommend a red dot pistol. All right. Okay. So like he thinks it's a bad idea to have a red dot on your pistol. All right. Should we drag him through the waters, call him retarded and completely talk shit on him now over one opinion, one little thing, even if he's wrong about it? Like, could you look up like what Ken Hackathorn has done? Because another thing is when these people get attacked, you don't ever see like, hey, with due credit, because you have accomplished all these things, and I probably wouldn't be training at the place that I train at right now if you hadn't put in the groundwork beforehand. You don't see that, right? You don't see like the number of classes that a person has, like that person they're talking shit on. You don't see like their actual training experience talked about. You don't see like how long they have been teaching and the good things they have done. They just pick one little thing and they try to tear them apart for that. It's like, hey, I like a red dot pistol. I would be carrying one, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to carry a Holosun red dot pistol at this point. I like Holosun red dots a lot. It just happens to be that both of my 509s I have broken. So, and one of them I have broken twice. So that's like, I'm just not going to carry that. I will carry irons until I go ahead and buy that Aimpoint Acro P2. But So I disagree with him on that, but I also can see where he's coming from. Even if I don't fully disagree or I don't fully agree with him, it's like you should at least be able to recognize where they are coming from. Now, and so both like Tactical Response and Ken Hackathorn, they've both done great things. When you really look into the history and see the things that they have done, you'll be very impressed. Now, for Tactical Response with Jaeger, I know a lot of people hate Jaeger. A lot of people absolutely love him. And here's the other thing, man. There's going to be NPCs on both sides because, like I said, we all can be NPCs, and that's okay. We just need to recognize it and try not to do that so much. But a cool video you should watch is that Last American Outlaw dude. He did a video with James where he talks about a lot of historical stuff. That would be a good one to watch. Also, there was a good interview with James done by Jack Carr on his podcast. Watch that. And someone wants to throw up links for those, that would be great. I haven't even looked at the comments yet. I'm just ranting on my own program right now. I'm about to get to them in a second. I just want to get through these examples. But yeah, just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean they're wrong about everything. In fact, one thing that I wrote down earlier as I was working is that if you agree with everything someone says, you're probably wrong. Like if you don't disagree with a single thing that person says, you're not really thinking about it. Also, if you disagree with everything that someone says, you're probably wrong too. Because if you can't find a single thing that they say that you agree with, like on that same subject, you know, that probably means you're being emotional about it. You're probably not actually thinking about it. Now, other NPC things I've seen. One that I'm personally against: unloading guns for safety. I get it. It's a school of thought that's been taught for a long time. Your dad made you unload your gun. Your grandpa made you unload your gun. You're in the military, so you always had to unload guns. You're only used to NRA stuff, or you have no experience whatsoever. No one helped you at all, and so you unload guns for safety because objectively that does make the gun safe. Yes, it does, but that also means that if you have to unload a gun to be safe with it, you're not actually competent with that gun. You are not actually safe with guns. When they're used, they're fucking loaded. So you should probably be good at safely using loaded guns. Something else, law-abiding citizen. All the gun laws are stupid. Okay, like, well, I get it. There may be a reason why you think they're smart. I get it. But they're all an infringement. Okay, so why are people proud of following bullshit laws? That phrase, law-abiding citizen. This is one I'm going to keep mostly off the internet, but we can talk more about it in class. But a simple thing that I want you guys to think about is, should you be proud of following a law that puts you at more of a risk? Ask yourself that, if you're proud of being a law-abiding citizen. Now, that doesn't happen with a quality gun. And then people will lots of times talk about the price of that gun. Now, here's the thing. Every single gun will get a malfunction if you actually use it. Plain and simple. And for that matter, there's been many quality companies that put out garbage guns that came messed up. You guys can give your examples if you have personal experience with that. But this is kind of like from the mindset of following the idiot's principles. Again, survival principles are mindset, tactics, skills, then gear. Gear is important, not most important. But when you make it most important, you're following the idiot's principles. Gear, skills, maybe tactics, very little mindset. And this has been a thing I've seen a lot with guys purchasing like a Glock or something like that, and then they put fucking bullshit into that gun. This has also led off into other things like guns going off in the holsters. The biggest reason I've seen for that actually happening was aftermarket triggers that people put in. As far as like when I talk to other instructors, they put in an aftermarket trigger, put that thing in the holster. As it's going in, that fucking gun goes off because you messed with the inside of it. Then dudes buying like staccatos and dropping Gucci shit in their ARs and whatnot. It's like thinking that makes it better. You know, that might make the gun better. It might make it a lot worse. It might make it recklessly dangerous also. But the most important thing, again, is always you. So how are you making yourself better? At a certain point with certain things, better gear is the thing that you need to make yourself better, right? Like the best shooter in the world can only do so good with a break action shotgun. Of course, I get it. But if you are gear focused and you think just because you have a quality gun that you are good to go, you are wrong. Another NPC way of thinking is never shoot with someone forward of the firing line. Now, that would be like a downrange drill, as in there's people forward of the firing line when you're shooting, someone in front of you while you're shooting. Obviously, you're not shooting at them. That's murder. That's different. But apparently for NPC brain, I have to say that. But if you think that you should never do that on the range, or any school that does that is someone that you shouldn't go to, you're definitely wrong about that. Now, I want you to think about it. Do you want your first time to be shooting past someone to be on a hostage shot to save your kid? Do you want that level of added pressure, or do you want to be happy that you've at least shot with someone forward of you? I've never been to a school where you did a live hostage shot, okay? But like there are plenty of great companies that do downrange drills and have been doing them for a long time. Now, this is also where we get into the hive mind thing, as in like it's not that you want to be right, it's you want to be accepted. So when someone wants to be accepted, they will agree with the group just so that they're not lashed out against. They will refrain from saying what they actually believe or asking a question even because they do not want to be attacked, or they're afraid of it. You know, it's just like there's some people who are more afraid of public speaking than they are of death. And I think at like more of like a biological level, like a, you know, what did our ancestors do? Well, hey man, if you're kicked out of the tribe, like you're fucked, right? So that's why we don't want to be ridiculed and rejected. And it is lots of times the ones that are open-minded are a little bit crazy, you know, like I think like even myself, I'm a little bit nuts for even choosing to have a YouTube channel. I have many friends that are super smart, that could do a great job, that teach awesome classes, that don't make a single fucking video. And some of the times I've seen that it's they're afraid of being ridiculed. Like they don't say it, but they say other things that do say that. Like, well, I don't want to deal with all the haters, and like I don't want to deal with like people who are stupid and giving their opinions. Like, oh, dude, if you don't give your opinion, then people are never going to get the right one. But that has been the thing I've seen when people get mad of like maybe it's Jay Gibson being downrange and taking a picture of the class while it's going on, and then guys freak out. That's like, all right, well, hey, guess what? Those students have actually done this for real, in the sense that they've shot past someone who they didn't want to shoot. You fucking haven't, or your students haven't. Now you have students or yourself out there in the real world carrying a gun when they've never done a downrange drill. And this also goes for people who haven't even taken a class or they don't teach. If you're mad about that, I want you to think about it. You're mad about that, but you have never done it. And now if you had to do it, it would be when their life is on the line. If you fuck this up, you will shoot them. Or even you will get them shot from the bad guy. But now you have an added pressure. So how can you expect yourself to perform well if you've never done it? In fact, you may not even expect your brain to really go there. When you watch people in force on force, they will repeat stuff that they've done their whole lives. I watched a dude shoot the bad guy till his gun ran empty, run across the room, find a table, gently eject his magazine on the table, and then load his gun and get back in the fight. Like, should not have done that. like he put himself in a worse position, all that. But it's what he's practiced. It's what he's done. All right. So moving on, another phrase. And hey, man, like, again, there's instructors that I really like, that I train with, that I recommend you train with, that say these same things. Like, they're against downrange drills, and they say you should do it on force on force. That's okay. You need to do force on force. However, there's no real consequences if you miss with a simunition gun. There's real consequences when you miss with a live gun. The other thing is that anytime there's a downrange drill, it's actually like not nearly as scary as you would think it is. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And when you've done a lot of them, it doesn't even faze you anymore. But doing it in force on force, it's like you could fuck up, and I've literally seen people laugh about it after. So it's not the same thing. Because your brain knows the difference between that fake gun and that real gun. So it's not going to register the same in your brain. Now, another thing that lots of instructors I like say, but I disagree with, but I would still tell you go train with them. I'm just addressing the idea, not attacking any person, but is we are all basically teaching the same thing. Now, that can be true to a certain extent. Like, we're all teaching how to shoot, how to reload, how to clear malfunction, and how to use cover. Okay. But if we're all using the exact same technique, if we're all really teaching it the same way, like, I trained under this guy, so I teach it this guy's way, you're not really thinking about it. Like, if you only train within the same circle of dudes, the same like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 instructors that all are teaching basically the same thing, you're not training, you're masturbating. You're doing the same thing from different people, just maybe hearing it with different words. And again, if you 100% agree with everything that someone says, you're not even really thinking about it. So one thing that I'll expand on more later is if you think you know it, if you think you know the best way, you should seek conflicting information. But we'll get into that later. Now, when someone says don't train with instructor or school here, I've always seen that come from a place of ego, like a place of scarcity. Like, why would you ever train with this guy? And it's like, well, have you even met that guy? Have you taken any of his classes? Do you really know what he does? That's never the case that I've seen, at least. And whenever I heard the phrase, oh, don't listen to anything he says, like, generally I heard that at like work or something when I'd be working a normal job. It 100% was just that person has their own emotional issues that they need to get over. Now, another phrase, that one step doesn't get you off the X. All right. So talking about how, like, if instructors, there's many that do teach to take a step as you draw your gun, or as you're doing that reload or clearing that malfunction or whatever, to take a step. And then people say, well, that doesn't really get you off the X. Yeah, we know that. Again, do you want 20 students at once moving 100% realistically the way they would in the real world? Because that would basically lead to everyone's in a downrange drill every fucking second. No. So then you say, okay, well, we just have them stand in place because that's range theatrics. Okay. This is where the serious lack of force on force training comes in, because I've seen a lot of people who do not practice moving that literally stand there as I shoot them. Like, when I was role playing, the guy just standing there, I point a gun at him. Then I shoot around and it hits him. Then he starts drawing his gun, feet in place still. I shoot him again. Then he misses. I shoot him again. The whole time I'm thinking in my head, you need to start moving. Pow. You need to start moving. cow, because it'd be like in that type of force on force, it's more of a decision making thing. It's not a test on skill, but that skill is seriously lacking because he's not practiced movement. Even if he did a class for it, he didn't actually practice it after that. The reason why they teach to do one step is because, okay, we're confined to a range right now. The bolts have to go into that piece of paper and impact that berm. So if we have them just take one step, that's better than nothing. Now, a thing I've been telling my students is like, hey, get like, if you can, an airsoft gun in your yard, really practice moving, like really take off as you're shooting. Because also you probably get a little bit better at shooting on the move while you do that. But that one step is better than nothing. And believe it or not, we've tested it in force on force. If you both stand there in the same spot and shoot each other, you're going to get in the hands or in the heart. Now, obviously, you'd want to keep moving. That's ideal. But if you both take one step to the side, no one got hit in the heart when we were doing it. We were trying really hard. All good shooters. And it wasn't from that far away. Like if we could both touch hands and then that's our starting position, one step, firing one round. And guys were hit in either the arm or the ribs or a miss, but no one got in the heart. So now, could you? Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure someone who's never done it before is going to say that they would. Okay. All right. Well, again, that humbling force on force training would be really good for you then when you can go humble everyone else with how good you are. But yeah, we get one step is not getting you off the X. Spinning in a circle, where I talked about that, range theatrics. Now that phrase has gotten thrown around so much that it's just an excuse not to think at this point. That's what I believe. I like Pat Mack, the dude who came up with it. Okay. And I've made friends who like him that say to train with him. However, it's funny. I've literally seen it where one guy will call a thing range theatrics. And then I've seen where Pat Mack had the same video where him disagreeing with that video. Pat Mack says that's institutional inbreeding, that a person thinks the thing that the dude who first said range theatrics, where he thinks that. So basically, he calls this thing range theatrics. And then Pat Mack says that if you think that thing is range theatrics, then you have institutional inbreeding with your training. So that's funny that it's gotten thrown around so much that it's literally just a cliche at this point. Now, TCCC NPCs. All right, dudes who think that everything has to be TCCC approved. Tourniquets is usually the big one that comes up on this. Check it out, guys. Tourniquets are a strap. It's a strap that tightens down on a limb to compress an artery against the bone so that it's not going to be pumping blood out anymore. Dopplers, is my arm totally numb? Is my leg totally numb? Stuff like that. You can test tourniquets pretty well. You can stress test them too. TCCC approved tourniquets. Then people love saying, oh, it's not approved, it's recommended. Well, I got approved for the recommended list, right? And I'm pretty sure I can remember a billion times where people said it's not TCCC approved. And I've heard those same people say it's not approved, it's recommended. And so that another fucking stupid cliche that people throw out to not actually have to critically think. Don't need to do that. Now, there have been TCCC recommended tourniquets that were total garbage. In fact, I bring some to class whenever we go over tourniquets. I have tourniquet drills in my class that are meant to make you realize that, oh, fuck, I need to take a medical class. This shooting stuff's cool, but I didn't know that I was so bad at applying a tourniquet, even though I've owned them for X number of years. But I'll have students try to put on some of those TCCC approved tourniquets, and they'll realize like, wow, this is fucking garbage. It doesn't work. Now, some of them are no longer recommended, right? And that's the thing people say, but it's like, hey, just think about that. Those things that were recommended don't work anymore. So it's like, now you have to buy the generation 5 of that. Now that generation 5 is the good one. But guys, again, it's simple. It's a strap, and it needs to tighten down and stay tight and not break. And I would like to see, because I've never seen it before. So if you can post a link to exactly how they tests these things, like if we can see a video of the tactical community for combat casualty care, like testing tourniquets, I would love to see that. I've not seen it. I've only ever heard people say they do studies. Like, okay, where's the study? Can I see the study? If you have a link for that, again, please post it. I'm not a medical expert, okay? But I have seen a lot of medical experts who suck ass at applying tourniquets. So, moving on. Military NPCs. Okay, just because you're in the military doesn't mean you know everything. Same with law enforcement. Same with FUDs and hunters. MMA guys. And this is a lot of like ones I just talked about. It's all like single dimensional shooters or single dimensional thinkers. Now, MMA guys is a kind of a different one. So, dudes who are good at BJJ or some sort of some sort of martial art. And then I've seen them say shit like, well, I don't need to carry a gun because my hands can produce a gun. As in, I can disarm someone. Like, oh, that's really great. If they do that fucking thing, that makes it easy for you to disarm them. How many times have you done that against a resisting opponent who doesn't do that? Nonsense. And it is funny too, because if you watch like the videos of some of the like mixed martial arts Street Fighter guys doing disarms on YouTube, and I'm not even talking about the Detroit Urban Survival dude, but like some of the other ones that, I mean, shit, I even like their content, but when you see them handle a gun, you're like, yeah, you're all fucked up on that. You're like completely doing that all wrong. So it's like, just because you're good at that doesn't mean you don't need to do the other stuff. Okay. The same thing with gun people. We should probably get good at rolling around on the ground with someone. We should probably get good at fist fighting with someone. One thing that Sonny says that I really like is that if your gun is your only option, then that's the only thing you're going to do. So it's like he has I'm misquoting him. Basically, the gun shouldn't be your only option. But he has a class on verbal de-escalation. Fucking great. I'm hosting him here in Florida for it. You guys need to come take it. It'll be scenarios where it's like, all right, you're at the bar with your wife. There's a group of 5 dudes over there. One of them smacked her wife on the ass. Now you need to be able to get home and have her still respect you. You still get laid, and also make those guys apologize. And you need to not fucking shoot anyone. And he is really good at that. Because we couldn't figure it out. But then when he demonstrated what he would do, I was like, damn, that's very impressive. Gear NPCs. Just because you have good gear doesn't mean you're good. Okay, that's hardware. You need to work on software. NPCs who simply want to agree with a popular opinion. Yep, talked about that earlier. Gunfight NPCs. So these are dudes like me being NPCs. Like I said, I have been one in the past. One cliche that like the gunfighter realm or the civilian gunfighter realm loves to say is that there is no shot timer in a gunfight. Totally agree. I know what they're talking about. However, you could watch a video of a gunfight and time everything that person did, right? So you could see how long it took them to draw that pistol, like when they decided to. You could see how long a reload or clearing a malfunction took. You could see what their split times were and all that. Just because it's not your thing doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Everything is important. Not everything is important all the time, but everything is important. So do you want to be a fast shooter? Yeah, you should want to do everything fast. Conversely, dudes who are, from the performance shooter side or the competition shooter side, the draw stroke, the time on that is important. But the more important time is the decision-making process. When did you decide to draw your gun? I've drawn my gun 3 times as a civilian. No one ever saw it. No one ever knew it was there. I didn't fully draw it. I basically got it in my hands where no one could see it, and it was ready to go if I needed it. Now, all that to say, how can we fix it? Constantly reevaluate everything, especially the things you believe to be absolutely true. Now, I'm taking that from something that Sonny said. So reevaluate everything. You think you know it? Okay, look at the different ways. Like, next point is seek out conflicting information and understand it completely. So if you think you should reload your gun by racking it, look at why people reload it by hitting the button, and look beyond the surface, because the surface, they say like fingers don't work, so we rack it. And then the surface says, oh, fucking my fingers do work and hitting the button is faster. Okay, now look beyond that. There's a lot underneath it, and that's kind of like the thing I've tried to do when I make a video about a certain subject, is I try to explain the why a lot more. And I try to make it like a thing where if you came and took one of my classes, I'm not going to go that deep into it. I'm going to show you the technique. I'm going to touch on why a little bit, but I don't fucking have time for it. So a lot of those videos are more so that when I'm in class, I will touch on it a little bit and I'll go, but I've made a video on this. Watch that video to fully understand, because I put all the information in that, because I don't want to spend 11 minutes explaining why I teach a reload the way I do, or the way I teach a draw stroke the way I do. Okay. I try to put a video out for that. Now, expand the dimensions of your training and beliefs. So if you've only taken classes with me, go take classes with a competition shooter. If you only taken classes with a competition shooter, go take it from a dude like me, tactical response, Tremis Dynamics, fucking Sunny, anyone. Go take something completely out of your circle, because if you're not aware of the stuff going on there, you think you have it right, but again, you're not training, you're masturbating. You're staying within your circle, showing off what you do, that you all do the same thing. You're not actually learning new stuff. And again, getting back to reevaluate everything that you believe, especially the things that you believe are absolutely true. You should be changing your opinion on a semi-frequent basis. As in, at least once a year, you should be like, damn, I thought I had that right. I had that totally wrong. One thing for me last year, switching shoulders with a rifle. If you've attended one of my rifle classes, when I first started my company, it was a thing that I used to do. And then I was teaching it, and then I went away from it. And I said, nah, switching shoulders is retarded. And now I am teaching to switch shoulders again. Different reasons. Big one is shooting on the move. Switching shoulders makes you a lot better at that. If you're good at it. If you're not good at it, then probably shouldn't do it, but you should get good at it. But thinking about like other things, there's one reload thing I've switched up on, but there's especially from when I first started taking this seriously, I can't probably think of one thing that I'm still believing. I've pretty much crushed every myth or every belief I originally had compared to now. Now I'm going to look at your comments, guys. Thank you so much, especially if you watched from the beginning. I seriously appreciate it. I know that was long-winded and there was a lot going on. So I appreciate it. What the fuck is this caption thing? No, I don't want that. Okay. And chat. There we go. All right. Oh, man, there's a lot of comments. Holy shit. Thomas, what's up? Max, what's up? Casey, was up? Gunfighter Concealment, gunfighterconcealment.com. I got to show you some stuff. Chuck, what's up, man? Might be able to train with you when I go up in October. I'm planning on going. I can't say for certain. I haven't nailed it down yet. I was about to ask Max. Clutch. Came in clutch with the link. Yep. Oh, Iron Pig, what's up, Turtle? How you doing, man? Hey, Iron Pig Armament. I think ironpigarmament.com. Turtle, if you're here, drop a link to your website, please. Chuck, you can drop a link to your website. You guys are all talking to each other. Uncle Guns, I need to know who you actually are. Have we met before? Because I respond to your comments all the time. And I see you on, I think, Tremis's thing. Combat Arms Abduction Team, yep. Yep. Force on force, the most impactful thing. I see Adam. Oh, Adam Hall, what's up, bro? Good hanging with you at the muster. Hope to see you again soon. I'll try to make it to Self Reliance Festival October if you can make it there. Have you ever considered integrating a bear charging scenario into your training second figure on the fast moving sled sort of thing? No, but that would be really cool. I've considered dog because I think a dog attack is something we're as far as animal attacks, most likely thing we're going to encounter. My experience with bears is that the bears around me are giant pussies, and you can just go woo, and they'll run away. Shining a light on them makes them run away, but that would be cool. I don't know enough about it. I'd be real interested on the proper way to do it. One thing I would think about is like, running away may not be the right answer because they can run super, super fast. But there's also this thing, man, and this where training hand-to-hand stuff is super cool because it's like, just like when someone throws a punch, there's a certain point right there where they're committed. So I wonder if that bear charging you, if there's a certain point where you'd be able to move and they wouldn't be able to redirect to get you. That's just brainstorming. I don't fucking know, but I would shoot it a lot in the face if I could. Cliff, listen, I don't know any of these guys that I follow on YouTube. I just adopt a common sense approach. I say, look at your holster because there could be something in there, like a piece of brass. Okay, so Cliff Kirby, watch, if you haven't already, watch the video I did yesterday on it's okay not to look at your holster, or when people say always look at your holster, that's wrong. But again, just consider the fact that if it was too dark for you to see it, then looking at it wouldn't do anything. Also, if your eyeballs didn't work because you got beat in the face or fucking took shrapnel or debris to your eyes and you can't open them anymore, then looking doesn't matter. And also, there's a bunch of situations where you're wearing something where you can't see the holster. But the other thing is, like, just have a quality gun that's not going to just go off. Don't carry a gun of a gun. Quality holster. Keep your finger on the trigger. Be good at fucking reholstering your pistol. It's people say to look at because instructors are freaked out about dudes flagging themselves and doing crazy shit, putting another finger on the trigger as they reholster, but really they're not teaching a good reholstering technique, in my opinion. You can come to my class, I'll show you exactly how to do it. I've done it for many people. But you can look at it until there's a time where you can't. So you should probably be ready for that time you can't. I personally have not looked at my holster in years. Like, I haven't at all. Even like, I mean, unless I'm trying to do it because I'm in a class where they told me to do it, but even then I forget. And here's the thing, they don't correct me on it because I'm not the dude doing fucking flagging bad reholstering stuff. It just goes in there. It's no big deal. But other thing, like if you have a super light trigger, that could be different, but I want you to unload your gun, have no ammo in the room. So it's totally safe. Take the ammo off your body, take that gun, take that holster and start putting stuff in it, including trying to get it, like put something in the trigger guard as you put it in. I want you to see what it actually takes to make that trigger press as you put in the holster. And again, don't change your trigger. That shit's gay. Leave the trigger alone. Are these regular occurring thing? Marcus, you got to let me know again what you were talking about. Cliff, I think the point is to have the ability to reholster without looking. Yep, pretty much. Oh, Mike from Bulletin is here. Hello, sir. Paul then studies of self-defense laws and appellate court rulings in their state. I don't know. Studying self-defense laws. Yeah, you can do that. Not a bad idea, but the simple thing is use your gun in defense of human life. Like, don't wrap your mind too much around it because you could legitimately read the Florida statutes and interpret that as, well, if someone puts gasoline into a glass bottle and puts a rag in it, lights it on fire, and throws it in their fire pit, that they're now unlawfully using a destructive device, and so I should shoot them. Like it can get fucking crazy if you try to interpret laws. Like think about it, you're not a lawyer. Yeah, you should try to understand them, but the biggest thing is use your gun to save lives. Okay. And if you go take force on force training at tactical response, you'll get a better understanding of that. Also, the lecture is really good for that. And the use of force lecture I give in Carry Pistol 1 is a thing you should have. All right. Will you pick something to reveal going live tomorrow? Just one thing, maybe. Yeah. I got them right here. I was going to get through the comments. I got a cool clamshell bag. I'll show you all. Chest rig, wrong. Oh, but Harambe was an inside job, which it was. Text me, I'll send you a video of the thing I made. Adam frowns and Thomas Payne, chest rigs. Yeah, I do have some chest rigs that no one's seen before, but I want to sell them to my students before the public gets some. I dropped over 100 pounds on carnivore. If you need any help, let me know. Yes, but I need to know your real name. You maybe have told me it before, but it's hard to remember, Uncle Guns. Because I may even know you in person. I'm just not sure. It's hard to connect YouTube comments to real faces if I don't know the real name. What little formal training I have had pointed out right away. Quick, do not train bad habits that can also include dry firing, having to rack the gun every cycle. Not sure exactly what you mean by that. If you're really on a path of being a student. Yeah. So Max is talking about if you haven't found something that you did wrong, you're not really not being a good student. XD and 40, go, don't do it. Yep. Max did that. Tadashians. Oh, Thomas, I should have brought up your story. I've even thought about bringing it up in here. But yeah, everyone tore apart Thomas one time for, like, he said a thing wrong and even made a video explaining that he said a thing wrong. And it was like, okay, yeah, so he knows nothing because he got one thing wrong and for fucking 3 seconds in a video. Okay. You guys are just bullshitting with each other in the comments. Where did I learn to sew? Man, I did it I learned it on my own. You can watch SOE's videos on how to sew. I watched a few YouTube videos and I just got at it on the machine. And I got a lot better as I went. I'm way better now, but I'm not as fast as I'd like to be. I kind of have to get in a groove to actually be fast. I like designing gear more than I like producing gear. Like, there can be a time where I'm in a flow state and I enjoy sitting at a machine and getting all these made, but most of the time I just like designing a new thing. Like one I'm working on, which I told you guys I'll show you later, is this magazine pouch, which is really cool. There's a video, actually, one of my shorts, I showed it. I'm trying to nail down the dimensions exactly right. And isn't this fucking OD green just beautiful? It's a little shiny, but I don't care. I would wear this shit in a heartbeat. If you're worried about the shine, you can always spray paint it. But I'm going to make myself some of these. But I'm trying to get the dimensions perfect on this before I put them up for sale. That's what I was doing today. Let's see if I have any questions. Put them up. Andrew will go over them. Fine. Now, what do you think about the Daniel Defense M4A1? It should be good. I don't know. I know some guys don't like Daniel Defense politically right now. If you have an opportunity to get one, should be good. I have a Daniel Defense. I'm not sure what model it is. I think it's like a V8. I don't know. It's got the 16-inch barrel and a quad rail that goes out like almost all the way. And there's no front sight base, which I like those more. So if it has a fixed front sight, I would like that more. Max threw up a bulletin link and a combat training link. Thank you, sir. Is this a Cran documentary? See, Cran jokes. Gay. Critical performance training. Other Max, what is up, bro? I miss you. I want to see you again. You need to come up to my place for we're using airsoft to shoot each other. Also, Casey, I'm gonna make that happen. And actually, when I did the class with Sonny and Gary, where they were doing force on force, they use airsoft. And at one point, I was getting shot at by guys with sim guns and with airsoft guns. I could not tell the fucking difference. So I'm gonna say it right now: airsoft is totally fine for force on force training. Of course, use it appropriately, but it's totally fine. So I'm all for it, and I'm gonna buy more airsoft shit so we can do more with that. Thomas said he did. Thomas Holybee said I did a things on hitting or a video on hitting things with a pistol. Post that in the comments, please. Casey Loftus, what is up, bro? That video has pushed advanced fighting pistol to the top of my tactical response wish list. Yeah, dude, do it. And you know what? The funny thing is that drill is like not even one of the exciting drills from that class. Like advanced fighting pistol is one of the fucking coolest classes you can ever take. There are things in there that will change you, that will change your mindset on things. And it's like the class is not about how to put fucking holes in the paper more accurately. There's a lot of different things in there. And I don't want to give away, but I'll tell you what, like, if you're a dude who wants to like make your mindset better, that class will do it. It will expose you to things that no one else has exposed you to. I mean, there's a few mixed places where you can do some of the drills, that I've seen over a variation similar to, but that class, advanced fighting pistol, is well worth it. And all those people who talking shit, a bunch of them would probably sit out through most of the class. They would probably be too scared of it. And not to say you should be scared. Again, I'm not scared of any drills. I don't like they're all extremely doable. But I can assure you that they would bitch out of a lot of them. Mostly because they're not skilled enough to fucking do them right. Advanced fighting from critical performance training. Advanced fighting pistol is awesome. I did way of the pistol. It was great. I liked what James said about parts. Not all this stuff makes sense by itself. Yeah. Yeah. And, Joey did a video talking about like, or he was on live stream talking about, we can't give away the why with everything. And here's the thing is like, you shouldn't, like, no one should feel like they deserve to know the why on everything. Because you're not entitled to that. So if they put a video and don't explain it, suck it up. You don't have to understand. You can ask, but if you react to it and you just get mad and type nonsense, then that's fucking crazy. Also, I've been wanting to mention it. Check out this cool shirt. If you want one of these cool shirts, then text me or message me on Instagram, and I'm going to try to hook that up. All right. But these came out extremely well. I'm so happy. They're not on my website. Role playing. Hey, Chad. Hey, Chad. And Chad just said no. I love Red Dot. My dad likes irons, and he has real world experience. I don't. Dude, a Red Dot pistol is great for some things, and it's a little bit hard for some others. I go over a lot of that in my Red Dot pistol class I just put out, and also I need to fucking finally get scheduled. But Lewis Karras of Tactical Response, now he's started his own company, LCR, LCAR Concepts, I think it is. Him and I are going to be teaching a class together on Red Dot pistols. Also, we have something else going on in Texas together mid-March of next year. So be ready for that. Not going to say what it is. It's a secret, although some of you know because I talked to you on the phone. That's the link for the interview with Jack Carr and James, one of his best interviews. Yeah, I love that one. I think everyone should be able to have a gun regardless of anything. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, like some people aren't allowed to own guns because they went to prison or whatever. It's like, okay, but you let them out, right? So are they forgiven or not? Like, because like John Willis isn't allowed to own a gun. He employs Americans. Like, there's many people who love him, and he doesn't go around committing crimes. He actually makes millions of dollars every year. He definitely can't afford to do fucking dumb shit that will get him thrown in jail. It doesn't even make sense for him to do any of it. And he's been let out of jail for a long time, but he's not allowed to own a gun. Really? Okay. I personally know several people that should definitely be allowed to own guns. Here's the other thing. Okay, so you don't want a felon to buy a gun, right? Okay, good. Now they won't get a gun. Oh, wait, they stole it. Oh, wait, they bought it when you weren't there. Like, it's so easy to get a gun. I live in Florida. Every other house has a gun. And probably like 1 out of 8 cars has a gun. And many guns are getting gotten out of stolen out of cars, and many of them are gone from breaking into houses. It's not fucking hard. If I just broke into every house in my neighborhood, I would have a fuck ton of guns. Probably everyone over here does. So that's retarded. How about just don't let them out of prison if you don't trust them with a gun or to be near a school zone? How about that? Okay. I also can't stand going somewhere I can't be armed, especially if I have my family with me. Just, Chad, man, I'm trying to recognize your picture. I'm not sure. Just as long as we think about can versus able. Or sorry, allowed versus able. We may not be allowed to, but we might be able to. That's kind of for everyone. I only disarm if I have the choice. If I have no choice, yep. If you're a proponent of 180-degree rule, stay out of my classes. Yes. Or maybe, Thomas, you should take them. Like a dude who likes the 180 rule, because you might be able to just change their mind. I've definitely changed a lot of minds on that one. If we are being good students of the martial path, we should get to the point that we are never disarmed, no matter the situation. Yeah, that's a good point. Even if you don't have your gun on you, you're not really disarmed. That's another reason why I want to be good at hand-to-hand stuff. Please don't use mine. You're not training, you're masturbating. Yep. I don't even think I came up with that, dude. So you don't have to give me credit on that one. No, I don't have currently anything on my website for Force on Force, Chad, but I am planning on doing it. Right now, places you should go to for Force on Force training is Tactical Response and Tremis Dynamics. And understand, too, there's a difference between a scenario-based Force on Force class, like decision-making, like maybe you should be shooting this person, maybe shouldn't. What do you need to do next? Making 911 calls, like that. And then there's other classes that are Force on Force that are more skills-based. Another one that I haven't taken personally, but I've always heard great stuff, is Weaponized Geometry by Kinetic Consulting. And I believe that to be more of a skills-based one. So in like a skills-based one, they're shooting you a lot more. Like they're going hard at you. In a scenario-based one, it's about decision-making, and they're more shooting you to teach you lessons. They're not trying to burn you down. So, and you need both. And I would say you need to take the decision-making one first, and that would be at Tactical Response with a Fight, or Tremis Dynamics has some also. I'm not sure what they're called. If one of y'all could post a link to the Tremis one, that'd be great. I haven't done the Tremis one, but I would. And I will as soon as I can. Sam X is Triple C approved, and it doesn't work. Yep, heard a lot of things about that one sucking. Although I need to personally test it. That I have heard it, I haven't personally tested it. Josh Wall. Josh, what is up, bro? Good to see you. Chuck Peoples was on the testing committee. Okay, well, Chuck, we need to have a discussion about that. Go to gym and use shampoo and conditioner. Okay. Well, all right. Last thing I want to do is go to the ground. Yep. 9% of the time, throwing a handgun, force I got shot. I choose a hammer. You for tools. Train jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and when they introduce knives, it changes everything, and the results are not good for the person without a knife. Yep. It could even be bad for the person with a knife. Because, yeah, that's the thing, man. Fucking hand-to-hand shit is a totally different game. Like, the thing I like about training with Sonny is it's like when you do hand-to-hand shit with him, you realize, like, oh, fuck, like, I need to understand the way the human body works a lot more. And keeping your distance could be, but not always. Like, you know, it's like playing tag. You're going to be it eventually, you know. So there's also stuff about not so much keeping distance, but getting a point of domination. Like if you get on his back, you're going to probably do better. You maybe even if they have a knife, but I'm not a hand-to-hand guy. But yeah, Definitive Training Solutions, did a class with him this year. Should do that. He has a couple of different classes for hand-to-hand stuff. Craig Douglas, Sonny Padikas, all those guys. And yeah, if you want to do some of the gun, yeah, I would go do the Definitive Training Solutions one as soon as you can. Entangled Gunfighting, I think it's called. All right, I could be getting that wrong. Man, there's two I'm thinking of right now. How did I start sewing? I got a sewing machine, and I just kind of like had some design ideas, and I started going at it. I watched some videos of like the old videos of John at SOE sewing stuff, and now he's making videos that I wish I had back then because you can learn a ton from those videos. And I need to watch those too; it'll make me better. But man, it was just a lot of repetition sitting at a machine, trying to figure out how to make it stitch properly was a nightmare without even breaking any parts on it. Now I've broken parts. In fact, that machine over there is fucking broken right now. So I need to fix that one. I'm not even sure what to do. It is kind of a nightmare trying to keep the machine running. It's like, I hate the phrase, oh, it runs like a sewing machine. Like, oh, it runs like garbage. Okay. I took my dead tritium big dots and bolted them on to my blue gun. Hell yeah. I even made an inert Glock. That's awesome. Iron Pig Armament, Appalachian Medical Solutions. Does he not have fucking Homestead Medical as a website yet? Combat Art Training. No, we haven't met. Okay. I'm a few months away from making the rounds on trainers. Okay, cool, man. I'm excited to see you. With me, you should take Carry Pistol 1 as your first class. If you do the full trifecta tactical response, I mean, it would still be good for you, but it wouldn't, it might actually be awesome for you because it'll be easier for you to pick up on stuff. I can push you in more ways. I'm not 100% curriculum based. That's why my goal is to teach you the curriculum, but like, if I know that you've done certain classes, I might change the curriculum a little bit for you. I've also had it before where I had a bunch of students in Carry Pistol 1 and Rifleman 1, I think it was, and they were just struggling. And so I didn't do the full curriculum because it's like, you're not going to get anything out of this. So we're going to keep practicing the shit that we've been doing and just try to make them better at that. We're not going to do the exact same drills over and over. That's a waste of money, waste of time. But we're going to work on those concepts more because if we did all the stuff, it'd be like you just feel like you suck at the end of the day. Because, hey, man, it's fucking harder for some people to learn. It's harder for me to reach some people, too. But some people struggle with things when some people excel at things. Like I might be really good at shooting, but that's because I've shot a lot. But then like some hand-to-hand stuff, like it's kind of breaking my mind the first time I'm doing it. And even the second or third time, it's like I'm barely holding on, grasping this. By a safari land, by a portal. Don't worry about brass. Yeah, don't worry about brass in your holster so much. I'm not even worried about fucking t-shirts in your holster. Like, if you really test it, you have to pull the shirt through the trigger guard and get it fucking pinned onto the other side of the holster. In fact, I plan on doing a video on trying to make a trigger press in my holster. We used to sell knives and spikes in our original startup, but moved away from it. I need to update the business LLC, Iron Pig Armament, and Shivworks. Yeah, Thomas, you're going to be making a sling video 2.0. Remind me, I was going to send you a sling, the new truck gun sling. That will be your favorite sling, I promise you. I think it's Sonny's favorite sling already, because it's can't show a gun right now because it's live, but basically that sling gets tight to the gun. It's my favorite sling. I wouldn't, like, if I were to wear one all day, I'd want my V3 sling because it's a more traditional sling. But as far as what I put on all my guns now, it's always a fucking truck gun sling because it gets tight to it when I need it. I have my sling. But when I don't want it, I can just tighten that thing up. So especially for switching hands or using a truck gun or just setting it in the corner or something, it's fucking awesome. And it's really simple too, and all metal hardware and shit. I need to sign up for Bulletin. Yeah, man, get on there. Get on Bulletin. I need to get my shit on there. I'm listed on there. I need to update classes on there. I need to update the rest of my schedule. Guys, Bulletin is a completely free to use, and the trainers and classes are all vetted by Mike. You can be confident that you're not going to some idiot for training. Yes, Mike Fiore, who is possibly evil, but a genius for sure. He is an awesome fucking dude. I say evil. He's not a bad guy. Evil genius is funny to me. But he's really fucking smart is the thing I'm saying. But he's also a great fucking instructor. I have taken classes where he was teaching, and he does a fantastic job. And the funny thing too is I wasn't even expecting that. I was like, oh, he's a really nice, smart guy. You know, I wasn't expecting him to be a great instructor too, but he fucking trains. He is one of the instructors I like because he constantly takes classes. He's constantly learning new things. And for that matter, instructor NPCs, like instructors that repeat these fucking cliche sayings and hop on trains of yelling at people and whatnot. I think about it, those are always dudes that don't attend classes. I have said many times that when you take a class from an instructor who actually goes and takes classes still, his classes are different. They're a little bit better in some way for sure every time. Usually they're better at presenting. Usually there's better information, but there's always something just a little bit better about that. So Mike is one of those. The tactical response guys are all like that because they all are still taking classes, and they take them from different people like I do. Gary at Tremis, he is like that. I want to say John Dufresne is. John Dufresne's taking a lot of classes. I don't know how often he still takes classes, but he's really good at presenting. I will say that. Like, his classes are kind of a different breed. It's like a green line class a little bit, but more in-depth information on the shooting side from the one I took, and there's like no breaks. It's like, grab water, let's charge your mags, let's get back out there. I own 9mm and 12 gauge. Which one should I use for home defense if things hit the fan? Well, there's a lot that could go into that. Like, one of the things that Sonny says that I like is it's a handgun, not a hands gun. So for stuff like using a flashlight, a handheld, and being able to switch hands and be able to do that still. Sorry, it's hard to get my fingers right when there's not a thing in my hand. But being able to like switch hands with the gun and do more with this offhand, and being good at shooting one-handed can totally change the way you look at things. Like, Sonny prefers a pistol for home defense. I would suggest use the shotgun if it's a good one. That also matters. Is if one of your guns a shitty gun, then don't fucking use the shitty gun. But also like round penetration, stuff like that. How much is the spread of that shotgun going to be? How good are you at shooting that pistol? There's a lot that goes into that. But if like you have to run across your house to get your kid, you'll probably want the pistol. If you are going to just create a choke point and nothing gets through this way, then you probably want to use the shotgun. Mark Curtis, what's up, bro? The Tremis WW2 class? I don't know what that is. I don't have training yet. I live in New Jersey. It will cost me $700 all said and done. Yeah, man, Josh, make it happen. Just make it happen. Go take a Tremis class. They're not far from you. Also, Tremis Dynamics has study groups, and those are, I think, free or they're very inexpensive. That's kind of a thing he's been using to get people into classes. You should go to those. If you're not going to those, at least, you'll probably never take a class. But I get it. It is expensive. I spend literally tens of thousands of dollars every year taking classes. I'm at 130 hours of training right now. This year, that is. And the year is not over. And I already have in my mind another like 30 hours of training that I'm probably going to be taking, possibly 40. And there might be something else that I just decide to go do. It is very expensive. You don't have to do as much as I do, but you need to go take classes. Like I said, you're in one dimension. You need to expand those dimensions. You need to go learn more, and you will be shocked at how fucking much you learn. Now, you can just go take some cheap local thing. It might be amazing. It might be garbage. Okay. I would try to vet the instructors. Like, that's one of the reasons why I do a YouTube channel. So you can actually get to know me. You can see the things that I'm saying. You can vet me in that sense. And also I can repel people I don't want in my classes. That's really great too. All right, Mark, those oh fuck moments in training are the best. Like when Jay Gibson has been quiet for 2 hours, then says something terrifying that you've never considered. Yeah. Jay is a master at delivering simple lines that affect you. It makes me jealous how good he is at that. Joshua, think of it this way. It is $700 that will upgrade every weapon you own. You're upgrading the software. Yes. Also, check it out. Gary Marr was like a state competition, like at the state level, like the top competition shooter. So if anything, you get to train with a dude who's so good at shooting that he's basically a celebrity. Now he doesn't like go that much into like the how to fucking technique this gun into super accurate mode, as you would probably expect. But like you can ask him anything while you're there, man, and he's not far from you, and they have different things going on for their alumni. Like get in with the Tremis people. They're fucking great. Alpha Charlie concept. Sewing machines take constant maintenance. Yeah, they're a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Also, if you have a dude that you pay to fix your machines, can I get his number, please? And Alpha Charlie concept, you can post your website in here. I'm not upset by that at all. And I got cool shit I want to show you that I've been working on. He makes really good gear. John over there, he is very skilled. I really like his designs, and they're very different from mine. If you haven't taken Pistol 1 this year, you don't have Pistol 1 this year anymore. I don't see Rifleman 1s. We're probably going to take that. Chad, text the business line dates that you want to take Carry Pistol 1, and I will put up that fucking class on that date. And I'm working with 2 different ranges. So I got Aries and Leesburg, and I got another one down in Daytona. So, near Daytona. So tell me which one works best for you. I can't promise I can have it at that one on that date because I have to schedule with the range, but I will try to put that up for you. Because like you got a limited amount of money you can spend. Your money is better spent with a pistol class if you've had no pistol training. If you've had good pistol training, like you're like, I'm pretty fucking awesome with pistol, then yeah, Rifleman 1 may be fine for you. But there's a lot of the same lessons in those two classes, just with different guns. So if you don't have pistol training, the pistol class will be better for you because you carry a pistol. Maybe you roll into Publix with a AR. I'm trying to figure out a way to, but in general, it usually looks crazy. But on that note, I want to get that Foxtrot Mike fucking 9-inch AR with a folding stock. I got to get with him. I was going to make him some stuff. Signed up, but won't let me get on the mailing list. I'm trying from the PC later. I see so many NPCs, even in our crowd. I consider it a mission to wake them and hope others will do the same for me. Yeah, man. And it's like I said, man, we're all fucking NPCs on some level. It's gotten pretty disgusting overall. I think that's one of the things that we're missing, not having James Yeager around anymore. It seems like NPCs have gotten louder since he's not here. And maybe it's just because there's more of them out there. I'm not sure. And maybe I'm just wrong. I've been looking at it wrong the whole time. But I think like certain people are more vocal about nonsense that wouldn't have been vocal if they knew James was going to call them out. And again, even if they do that, doesn't mean I hate them. Doesn't mean I'm saying not to train with them or don't listen to what they say. I'm just don't like that thing they said. Okay. Definitive Training Solutions. What's up, bro? Drop a link to your site. Any classes coming up? Go train with Definitive Training Solutions. I did Definitive Shotgun and fuck, dude, I'm feeling retarded. I thought it was Entangled Gunfighting, but I feel like I'm mixing that up with another one. I haven't looked it up yet, but drop links to both those. Fucking great classes, super knowledgeable guy, and he's not an absolutist either. So, and here, check this out. Him and I disagree with shit. Dude, I'm saying go train with him. He's awesome. Zach is fucking awesome. Man, you guys are being awesome in the chat, helping each other out. I'm not reading that, but it's good. The study groups have been very little cost involved, but I don't know if they're open to people that aren't alumni. I'm pretty sure they are. Maybe we should text Gary to get in the chat and start answering questions about his company since we got people we're recommending to him. I'm not picking up my phone right now, so I'm trying to manage this. Tap Rack Ridge, what is up, bro? I think you have my number. Can you text me dates that you want me to come up? Because I need to update my calendar. I've been working on gear stuff, but I want to update my calendar and put you on my list. Dates for this year and dates like kind of further out for next year also, so I could put a couple on there. But Tap Rack Ridge is up in Kentucky. Man, if you got a website, please drop that in there. But they are opening. They have opened a range where they're hosting instructors. Actually met them in one of my classes too. I didn't even realize it was them yet because I haven't like memorized their face from Facebook yet. But they're doing good things in Kentucky. Kind of makes me want to move there. But that's going to be a fucking place to go to. I also have heard a rumor that I'm just going to say on the internet and put it out there that they're going to make it so we can do force on force there too. If that's not true, well, you guys should make it true. Tap Records, great video today of the facility. Oh, dude, drop a link to that. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't actually look at my Facebook. I just post shit and let people fight. So far, my favorite belts come from SOE, my favorite slings come from you, and my favorite chest rigs come from Alpha Charlie. Right on. Yeah, I want to make belts, but fucking every time I get webbing in, there's a slight curve to it. So it'd be like I shipped you a used belt. It would look like that. So I haven't gotten into that. There's also another one from 1791 that has a different material that I wanted to try out. Right now, I'm currently using a fucking low profile EDC belt with the G hook from SOE. I've been liking that, but a certain pair of pants I have makes it feel weird and makes my back hurt because they like ride weird. Had to take mandatory CCW class yesterday. Instructor said every time someone hands you a gun, first thing you do is make sure it's unloaded. I heard you screaming in my head. Well, I hope you did what he said, but yeah, it's like if we just treat it like it was loaded, we wouldn't have to check to see that it was unloaded, right? Like, hey, if I basically just don't point this at people and don't touch the trigger, it can be loaded, right? Like, maybe certain guns you wouldn't chuck at the ground or whatever. But that's another thing, man. Is like I've had people say like, no, you unload guns because some of the guns just go off by themselves. It's like, well, fucking get rid of that. Destroy that. Destroy that piece of shit right now or fix it. But obvious, like, do I need to say that, okay, we won't keep that fucking frag grenade of a gun? We won't keep that one loaded? People are fucking crazy. You didn't point out the completely obvious thing. If you don't have friends that can wake you up to your own bullshit, then get new friends. Everyone falls into that NPC role from time to time. Yep, absolutely. And hey, dudes, a lot of people just need to get better friends anyways. Think about things like, okay, for me, one of the things I cut people out of my life with was people saying that starting this business was a bad idea. Cut off like a diseased hand. Like, and I don't, maybe it was wrong for me to just ghost someone or whatever, but it was like, if you're being negative in my life towards my business, my relationship, or anything like that, like fucking gone. All right. So don't do that if you're my friend, please. Which my friends now don't do that. Entangle got a thing. All right. Making sure I got it right. I didn't want to fuck that up, but I was, for a second there, I was like, am I thinking of the other one? Because I was trying to schedule Aaron to come down here and teach. But I think his was called Full Contact Gunfighting. I actually have a folder I could just look at right now, though. But he needs to get with me and schedule it down here. Oh, you got Kentucky, Tack Rock Ridge. Aaron Little, you should get with him and schedule him to come out and teach stuff. We have vehicle and light course in Ohio in November. Still a few open slots from Definitive Training Solutions. Guys, sign up for that. Post a link for that, please. Curse James was like BS seeking missile. It was that quality that got me on the path. Yep. Yeah. It's like, yeah, calling out bullshit and like just nonsense. And that's something like for myself personally, like when I get that in a comment or I see someone saying it, I usually make a note in my phone to make a YouTube video about that. That's where a lot of those have come from. It's funny because people think, trying to shit post. It's like, well, you don't watch my videos then if that. Like I've had people say that I know don't actually watch the videos because they take like one little thing I said, and when I go like, oh, you gotta unload the gun, when I do this thing, and then they think that's what I'm just doing 100% of the time. It's like, no, that's definitely not true. But I do look at the nonsense people say and try to make a video on that subject. I only have you on Messenger. Okay. Okay. I will fucking right now. I'm sorry. I thought I gave you my number already. See, I would have had Ashley handle this, but I fired her for being so good at soap making. All right, stop being returned. Schedule a trip up there. No, that's it. Robert McKinney, right? Yeah. pretty sure. Yeah, that's you. I think if I'm talking to Robert on the Tap Rack Ridge, my phone number's right there. Oh, and I have yours too. All right, cool. All right, well, I got yours. So if I'm gonna give you a call, and it should show that I'm calling, and then I'm gonna hang up. If you could just text me dates when you get a chance. Mine's the 813 number. That would be great. 100% force on force is true. There you go, guys. Force on force is the most important training you can take. Now you are going to be able to take it at Tap Rack Ridge in Kentucky. So there's less excuses available. Make it fucking happen. Oh, Pliskin. Kentucky isn't too bad of a drive for me. That's good to know. Yep. We're at in Ohio, Zach. We love you too, Zach. Some Facebook stuff. Somerset, Ohio. Whose place is that? Central Ohio is where the vehicle class and low light will be at Bob Lester's range. Okay, yeah. I just need to schedule something out there too. Bob's range is awesome. Max, when you get clear, would you kindly drop the Tap Rack Ridge YouTube channel? Yep, did that. Man, you guys are being awesome. You're still talking, Sam. What's your problem with me, Sam? What the hell? I thought we were friends. You big jerk. Fucking Marine, bearded, long-haired, possibly glasses wearing. Hello, friends and Andrew. Wow. Tim have used his bandolier in class. I have taken for the past year. Okay, I think that means he likes the bandolier. Oh, now I'm at the end. Okay, so Max, yeah, I guess. Channel sub, anyways. I was coming. Thanks again. Yep. Oh, I bother Tremis enough that he tells people not to give out their numbers to me. That's funny. All right, guys. Well, do you have any questions? If so, type them up. Now I'm going to start showing you the cool gear. So first one I did, this clamshell bag. As you can see, I needed to get rid of some hardware that's just been sitting there. So these have the metal pulls on them. And the thing I was thinking is if you don't like the metal ones, you like 550 ones, that's fine. You're a dude. You can figure out how to break that one off and put in 550 core and tie a knot. And if you're a lady and you want, you can figure out how to manipulate a dude into doing it for you, even though I'm sure you could do it yourself. But yeah, so these have the metal ones. Looks more normal, civilian-like. This is foliage green, which is, I guess, technically a military color, but it does not look military compared to like an OD green, right? It's a lot different, more bluish, and not even so much. It's, I guess, a little bit brighter in some ways, but different than a military color. Now, on both sides, see how these handles come? You got the zipper on the other sides of the handles, and these hold that clamshell together, right? Because this opens up as a clamshell. So the idea with this was I want to just have all my medical in here, be able to open it up and have this thing to work out of. And then I could put other stuff in these other pockets. So that's all, it's all Velcro lined. And then you have a bunch of elastic stuff going on down here. You got these loops right here that you can put stuff in. And then these flat ones going across so you can put stuff in. And then on each side, you have an identical front pocket, which is Velcro lined on this side, not on this part, but on this side, there's Velcro. So my idea was I would put 6 mags in there, just on a Velcro thing. I will make some stuff to stick on with Velcro. SOE sells a bunch of stuff like that. And really, you can just go on Amazon and fucking buy a bunch of elastic inserts, and you can experiment and play with it. That's real cheap on Amazon. So I'm not so concerned on making that stuff. There's a lot out there already, but I will try to find unique designs with elastic inserts that no one else is doing that makes sense for you guys. Yeah, so it's the same pocket on each side and then a clamshell in the middle. Comes with a strap that I'll show you in a second. Then on the bottom, you can run elastic through these to put like tourniquets or whatever you want on the bottom, but the elastic comes with it inside. It doesn't come with it run through there already, because I figure a lot of people aren't going to use that with like a bag like this. Now, the other one, which will be more expensive, you'll see when I post them on the websites, the price. Here's that strap. So it's got metal clips on it. I forget what these are called, but they're like spring-loaded clips. So that also, well, I guess it's still kind of a military thing, but it doesn't look as military as like a big fat buckle, right? But that strap goes across, so that even if this was open, if you just put the strap on, it would basically close it because it's pulling from each side on the D-rings. Now, these medical bags are totally overbuilt, okay? In the sense that, well, I guess everything is a little bit overbuilt. Okay, these are overbuilt in the sense that there's 2 layers of Cordura on the outside, okay? The main reason why I had to do that was because red is a little bit see-through, and that annoys me. Is it really a problem? No, but it annoys me. So I just went ahead and put 2 layers of Cordura. It makes it a lot more rigid, which I like. Like, you can tell the difference just looking at that it's like harder to collapse and stuff. Whereas this one with just 1 layer, it's not as rigid. So these are overbuilt in that sense. Also, the main compartment on these has a number 10 zipper, where these are the smaller number 8. On the other one is all number 8 zippers. So number 10 zipper is just that big fat one compared to the smaller ones. Try to get all the lighting is bad right now. Okay. But other than that, it's the same thing. It just has the white cross on both sides. I needed this. It's going to be for me, for my medical bag that I take to the range, because I've been using a gray backpack. That's just wrong. It should be red. Now, you can take a bag you have and spray paint that bitch red. I have no problem with that. But medical stuff should be easily identifiable. Hey, check it out. You can still put a gun in here if you want. Okay? Like, you can still put mags in here. Like, my medical bag, little secret, has 6 rifle mags in it. Medical is a part of gunfighting. Okay? And if I have to break out the medical, there's a chance that I need it because that there were bullets flying. But also, you don't need to put mags in it. You can put whatever you want in it. But it's the same design. Oh, also zipper is protected with these lips here, where the other one is exposed. So I guess that's another difference in the overbuilding. But yeah, man, I'm fucking psyched about this. Like, if you're a medical professional, you will love this bag. Like, if you are a dude that gets off an ambulance or something and you are able to get your own, you will love this. If you're a fucking cop, you will love it. Oh, here you can check out what it looks like when you run the elastic through the bottom. So you can put multiple tourniquets. I need to make some elastic inserts and stuff, and then I'm gonna load this up with medical, and I'll do a video on it to show you what exactly it looks like. Those are the only new gear items I've done. I do have a video on showing this prototype mag pouch, and basically, if it's 2 AR mags in here and then another one behind it, and then you can run shock cord on for a pull tab, and it's all secured with shock cord. And then you can also run 2 AK mags in it. You could either put one back behind in front, or you could put 2 in front with this design. I'm not sure if that'll be the final product, because changing the way I sew stuff. This is my most recent prototype. It changed the dimensions a little bit, and I might end up liking that. I might like it if it's a little bit tighter in the front for 2 AR mags, but we'll see. When this is out, I'll drop a video on it. But those bags will be out tomorrow. I got to do pictures and videos and all that, and then you'll be able to get them. Now, we'll look at the comments. If you have any final questions, please let me know. They call me foreskin trim has started that trend, or snake skin. That's funny. All right. Oh, I missed some. Okay. Oh, man. Holy shit. All right. Okay. I got it. Wait. Came here to watch the recording because I was busy lifting, but you're still talking. Oh, okay. I got you. That's awesome. What program are you on? Are you doing a program? Do you have some sort of regiment you're sticking to? That's my question. I ran out of Sam's meat the other day, and I'm still sad. That's fine. Sam, also, if you could look into carnivore diet and what's okay for carnivore people to eat as far as like ingredients you put in, that I'd be really interested in that. If I could do like a gear trade or a training trade with you to get some carnivore diet approved meat, because I'm on that right now, and your fucking jerky is super good. Also, you should, I don't know how serious you are about making jerky, but if you ever make a website, let me know, I'll share it. I'll do a video with you. I'm fine with that, man. My eyes are damn near perfect still. Oh, you're lucky. I was born with shit vision. Sam's meat. Yep, I get it, man. Sam's got that tasty meat. I'm turning on my dehydrator for another 6 to 7 pounds of jerky. Hell yeah. When can I OC spray you in force on force? Man, that might be a thing that I need to do eventually. I don't want to do it right now, but like Josh makes really good arguments for why I need to get OC sprayed. He's like, "Oh man, have you ever shot your gun after being OC sprayed?" I'm like, "Damn it, but I don't want to right now." I'll tell you what, if I'm about to sleep with Ashley in the same bed, like if I'm there and my family's there, I'm probably not going to do it. You'll be better at convincing me if it's like I have nothing to do the next day. OC spray sucks ass, guys. Everyone should experience it. I already have. That's why I don't want to do it. But if you haven't, you should experience it. Also, I'd like to see you reholster your pistol while looking at your holster after you get OC sprayed. That'd be really interesting. Can you get Rhodesian pattern for making gear by chance? I think I can. If you want something, man, let me know. There'll be extra cost to get it because I think it's a little bit more expensive, and also just making an order for material generally just is like a bigger extra cost. I try to keep to my basics, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Check out MOS Tactical, their website. They might have Rhodesian. You're looking for 500D Cordura nylon, not polyester. That shit will lighter super easy. And then look at 0241 Tactical. So MOS Tactical and 0241 Tactical. Those two websites, you might be able to find them there. 0241 has a bunch of really cool camo patterns, including chocolate chip right now. So after I finish the shit I'm doing, I want to buy that chocolate chip and make some really dope backpacks with it. But I'm basically doing gear drops. So you're about to get the first gear drop tomorrow. And there's only a few bags. Is there another name for Is that another name for multicam tropic? No, multicam tropic is garbage and it looks like trash. Like green poop. Multicam tropic is green poop. Your gun is also first aid. Yes, it can prevent further bleeding. Can a regular sewing machine sew through 2 layers of webbing? Hand sewing takes too damn long. Like getting, and I got a machine over there. I can't show you because there's a gun right behind it. But it's a straight stitch only. There's no reverse on it, but it's a console, and I bought that for $150. So if you got space to throw a machine in, like even your garage or whatever, like that will be really, really good. And it'll possibly be the same price as fucking buying a shitty machine that's going to break, even if it sews through a little. But might be able to get away with like the heavy duty from Singer. I had one, but it was before I knew anything about sewing machines, so I broke it and I literally just threw it in the trash. I didn't even fucking bother with it anymore. This right here is a Juki 5550, and like John at SOE has told me that is not a heavy enough machine. I do everything on this machine. Like my heavy duty machine, it's not working right now. I need to get a better heavy duty machine that fucking works, and I don't have problems with. But like the DDL 5550 from Juki, it's like, if you ever drive a car and it's like, man, this thing just drives nice. This machine just drives nice. Like whenever I've gone on my other machines, I'm like, fuck, I don't like sewing on this. And whenever I have someone working for me, I have them work on this because it's easier to sew on, and it does just fine. Like this, there's serious like layers going on right here. Like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers right here that it's sewed through, and 4 of those layers, half of those layers are webbing. The rest is 500 denier Cordura, and it still stitches through it. It will fuck up sometimes stitching through super heavy shit, but it's like if you know how to tune it and how to have your needle angled perfectly correctly and you have it timed right, it's a great machine. DDL 5550 from Juki. And if you can get a machine for like $400 and then buy a $150 servo motor, you're set. You'll be able to do a lot. In fact, you might just make your own company. Who knows? And yeah, hand sewing sucks ass. So if you do a lot of it, just buy a machine. And just let me know if you need help. Like before you buy one, text me the link and just look on Facebook Marketplace. Any progress on that thing you and I have been talking about? No, not yet. That's why I'm making the mag pouches, is because I want to be able to make that other thing. But I need to get these done to put on that other thing. Oh, Matt Reynolds is your coach. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Well, you'll be good then. I'm not sure how illegal my jerky sales are. Well, you're gifting them to friends. That's it. I didn't even try to reholster after getting pepper spray because I couldn't feel my arms. Well, next time you should, like, at least if you get sprayed again, at least get a blue gun and just make it happen. But again, if you just keep your finger off the trigger, it's no big deal. Like, people really overthink the reholstering thing. Even, here's a controversial one. There are times when you need to reholster fast. There are times, okay? And you guys can think of that on your own. I'll probably make a video on it later. I don't know what. Oh, he wants to do it again. Don wants to get OC sprayed. So get with Josh DeWalt. Get your fucking face sprayed. Illegal meat. 0241 is a good friend of mine. His recommendation for Rhodesian material. Okay, there you go. Turtle 0241 tactical. Iron Force Yo, this is gear. Everyone, commenters is straight shooter. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Do you have like videos you got going on now? If so, send them to me. Send them to me on Messenger. Because I don't think I've seen Iron's Force. Well, second OC exposure is easier. The anxiety of the first exposure and novelty is gone. I don't know. I think I'd feel a lot more anxious the other time. It's like still force on force training gets me fucking anxious. All right. Don't plan on starting a gear company, but I need to be able to do my own repairs. I just made new straps for an old tactical response to Fireland drop leg. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, man. Just let me know if you got a machine that you're looking at getting. You can get the best machine in the world that's not timed right, or there's one broken thing in there. Like that was the case of that Conso 206. There was one broken thing. I couldn't that bitch running. It drove me nuts, but it's okay. You just fix it. One thing you should also try to find is a sewing machine repair shop or a dude who can do it. I don't even have one right now. That I do know one that's worked on that machine one time, but it's a 3-hour drive for me. So if you're planning on getting a machine, find a dude who can fix it too, and you might as well just bring it in right away when you get it. Possibly consider that. It might save you a lot of headache. But yeah, all right, that's it, guys. I don't got any more comments. I see people are leaving, so I'm gonna call it a day. I meant on this being a 40-minute talk, and we went 2 hours and 25 minutes. I had a great time. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope y'all got something out of this. I might post this as a podcast. I need to get back to doing that. But for real, fucking, you guys mean the world to me, especially listening to me rant on that subject. I just felt like it was stuff that needed to be said. Don't be NPCs. That's basically the message. Hey, I'll be putting hats and t-shirts on the website. Like I said, if you want this t-shirt, message me on Instagram or text the business line on my website or text my real phone number. Okay? So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Keep fighting communism. And remember that training